Hi and welcome. My name is Shuvi Powers. I am the Managing Director of Girls in Tech Minneapolis, and I have the honor to be here today along with these wonderful women to interview them as part of the Minnesota Aspirations Awards ceremony. So I will start out on that end. We have Leah Anderson, and she is the VP IT Corporate Center and Supply Chain here at Land O'Lakes. And I'm going to have you just introduce yourself.
Thanks for having me here today. It's great to be here with these young women as we celebrate their accomplishments in technology. I've been with Land O'Lakes almost a year now, and my role is to support all the IT behind all of the supply chain as well as our corporate center. So what that means is, as we produce products that you buy in the grocery store, for example, I hope you buy our butter, we have to go to the market and understand what the demand for those products is, and then plan for that. We then have to source all the raw materials that go into making those products, and then we have to actually manufacture them, and then we have to either store those products in warehouses or distribute them to the customers that purchase them. And there's a lot of IT that goes behind making that all happen, as well as people and all those other types of things. So my job is to make sure that the IT components are working smoothly and are helping us do that as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Now on the corporate center side, that's the part of the company that's running the company, the operating company, right? So that's corporate marketing, that's corporate HR, that's corporate finance, communications, legal, you name it. Being an employee here at Land O'Lakes has technology components as well, and it's my job to make sure that those are working on a daily basis.
Thanks for being here with us today. And next we have Dorothy O'Berry. Dorothy is a former Aspirations Award winner. Dorothy, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely, Shuvi. Thank you guys for having me here. My name is Dorothy O'Berry. Like Shuvi said, I was a winner in 2013. I am currently a sophomore at the University of Minnesota, where I'm studying business and marketing education with a technical communication focus. I also work in the athletics IT department, where I serve as coaches and student athletes with all of their technical problems, and I'm really happy to be here today.
Thank you, and we're glad to have you here. And next we have Shivani Stump, and she is with SBS Commerce, correct? Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've been with SBS Commerce for about a year. A fascinating company. When I joined SBS Commerce, within a few months, I realized something that Sheryl Sandberg said, that Eric Schmidt at Google had given her advice. And he said that when you get an opportunity to get on a rocket ship, you don't ask which seat, you just get on. That's exactly how I feel about SBS. We develop supply chain software, so pretty much what Leah said, but we are connecting 55,000 different retailers and suppliers to our network every day, and helping them with their supply chain data, exchanging all of that data, and we have about $1 trillion worth of purchase order transactions flowing through our systems every day. So I help set product strategy and are helping the company re-envision and build our next generation platform.
Wow, and thanks for being here with us today. And next we have Prabhu Singh, and she is our state award winner. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, thank you. I'm from John Marshall High School in Rochester, Minnesota, and as Shuvi mentioned, I'm a state award winner, and I feel really honored to be here today.
Well, thank you for being here. And last but not least, we have Anna Pooley, and Anna is another state winner. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Anna Pooley. I am currently a senior at Wayzata High School, and I love coding. I'm co-captain of BPA and a state winner this year for the NC Award, as well as a national runner-up.
Well, thanks for being here. We're glad to have you. Let's just jump right into it, ladies. I'm going to start with Shivani first. Tell me a little bit about how you got interested in technology.
Sure. My dad is a scientist and my mom is a linguist, and they both have been great role models for my sister and I. We bought a PC, I think, when I was 8 years old, and I absolutely loved the experience of being able to create something and have such a big impact right away. So that just got me started. I learned a bunch of programming languages myself, and a couple of friends of mine and I would program over the weekends. So that's really what got me interested, and there was no looking back. So when I was deciding what to go to college for, it was a no-brainer, and here I am.
What do you think it is about software development that you enjoy the most?
It is one of the most creative fields with a perfect combination of art and science, and I think most people don't look at it that way, but there's so much of creativity that needs to go into developing software the right way, along with, of course, all the problem solving and all the challenges that come along with it, which is which is just great. And I think the second biggest fascinating aspect, especially for our younger generation, is every industry since the 18th century is getting disrupted right now and completely being reinvented with technology. And the opportunities are just endless. So I think those two things are definitely big drivers for my continued interest in software development.
So Anna, you have a background already in robotics and programming language and database work. What are you most passionate about?
I'm most passionate about programming, really. I'm, as I said before, co-captain of BPA, and I love Java, I love C++, I love Python. I'm taking as many classes as possible in the programming area, and it is definitely what I want to do in the future.
All right. And I'm going to ask you the same question. I know you have some programming languages under your belt as well. So what is it that you enjoy the most about it?
I really just love how it all fits together, because a lot of the languages I've learned, including PHP, MySQL, HTML, and CSS, they all kind of mesh together in a way, and I really like how they all play their own role, and it's really cool to actually be able to develop like a web page or something using those languages.
It is very neat when everything comes together in perfect harmony almost. Leah, can you tell us how you got interested in technology?
Sure, I can. I like to tell people I was genetically doomed at birth because I was and am the child of IT professionals who in both cases were senior leaders in their technology functions. And having especially a mom who was a senior leader in technology when I was growing up was really a unique thing and really provided a great role model for me to say, hey, I can go do this too. And so because I had technology around me all the time, it just kind of came natural to me, frankly. In high school, I was the first one with a modem dial-up connection, and people would come over and we'd surf the internet together, and that was awfully cool at the time, and I had my own email account, and so those things were natural for me, so it helped me decide to pursue a major in math and computer science, which then helped me land an internship writing code, and the rest kind of came from there.
So it was a natural transition. That's very interesting. So Shivani, as we're kind of surrounded by the younger women who are kind of going through this, what advice would you give to your younger self?
That's a tough question. There's so much advice I would give to my younger self because there's so much that you learn every day. But if I had to pick, my top one would be fake it till you make it. Because nobody really knows what they're doing, and you just get better by doing it every day. Practice makes a man perfect is really cliche, but 10,000 hours of anything is going to make you it's going to make you better than most people at it. So just fake it till you make it. Believe in yourself, and always ask for feedback. That's probably been the single most impactful thing in my career. Asking for feedback and having people actually give you constructive input into things that you could be doing better. It's really hard to hear often because you think you're doing your best and you're doing the right thing, but that actually goes a long way. And so I guess those three would be my advice to my younger self.
Those are great advice. So just to kind of keep a little open mind, and when you get that advice from people or constructive criticism, just to kind of take it with a grain of salt and work on it, right? Yeah. All right, so Prabhu, I'm going to ask you, who has had the biggest influence on your life?
The biggest influence in my life would probably be my family. They've supported me in everything I do, but specifically my sister, because she has been such a great role model for me, and she actually won the Aspirations Award 2 years ago. And her leadership, her footsteps into the IT field have really guided me in the right direction, so I really appreciate that.
That's great. So Dorothy, having gone through the experience now, what advice would you give to other younger women that are out there that are thinking they should apply but are a little nervous or hesitant?
The greatest piece of advice I would give would be to not sell yourself short. So when I applied for this award, I didn't think that I'd get it because I didn't think I had much to offer, but that's not true at all. And so just not selling yourself short and believing in yourself, you do have enough experience. You can win this award.
So this is a great question because I actually have this conversation with my 6.5-year-old daughter most nights at dinner, who, by the way, I already have in coding club in kindergarten, and she's wanting to know why there's only 3 girls in it.
Yeah.
So the numbers that she's observing in her kindergartner coding club are the same that a lot of us are reading about in the newspaper, whether it's, you know, executives at Google and Facebook and how many of them are men versus women, or board representation. We see the numbers, and the truth is that we know they're not where they should be. But my advice is don't let that slow you down, don't let that stop you. Accept and acknowledge and celebrate the fact that women bring something very special to the table. We bring a diversity of thought and an approach to problem solving that fundamentally is different than others. And not only can we do this thing we call technology, we are needed in this thing called technology in terms of how we are going to help shape the solutions that we deliver for the future. You know, we've talked already a little bit tonight about how digital is the era that we're in right now. People are living their lives differently. They are always on all the time. And the fact is that every company on this planet is trying to figure this thing out around how do they stay relevant in today's age. So as a female who brings a different perspective to the table, who can work extremely hard and develop the skills that are needed, the world is your oyster in terms of what you can accomplish.
I think you really nailed it there, because it's about working really hard, bringing that different perspective, because we all have something unique that we can offer. So I think just the combination of all of that is just a perfect environment to flourish in, and I think women do flourish in this environment. So Anna, can you tell us who has had the biggest influence on your life?
I'll have to say my computer science teacher, Miss Cootie, has had the biggest impact on me. When I first moved to Minnesota my sophomore year, I wanted to take AP Computer Science so badly, but I didn't have any of the prerequisites for the course. And she let me join the class even though I didn't have those classes beforehand. And I really excelled in the class and received a 5 on my AP exam.
Oh, that's great. Shivani, can you tell me what is the most challenging thing about your job right now and how you manage it?
I would say on a day-to-day basis, self-awareness is probably one of the things that is top of mind for me right now, and something that I'm working on a day-to-day basis. And it kind of goes back to my comment about feedback. You know, we all think that we're doing the right things, and we are moving so fast in today's day and age that we don't try to. It's really hard to take a step back and see what we can be doing better unless somebody is actually giving us that input and that advice. And as you climb the corporate ladder, that feedback loop diminishes even more, just because of, I think, the culture sometimes that we've created. And so fostering an environment and a culture where there's open door policy and everybody feels like they can provide input and share candid feedback about what's going on, areas for improvement, constructive criticism, that's really hard. And I think we've done an amazing job of that at SBS, and I think that is so important for everybody in their career to be mindful of things that they can be doing better, and constantly soliciting that feedback to improve the culture as a whole.
I couldn't agree with you more there. And so I'm going to solicit feedback from you guys. What would you say to the younger women that are out there that are thinking about applying but aren't really sure that, or they're nervous about going through the process? What would you say? And I'm going to let you start, Prabhu.
I would say to them, if you're like Dorothy and you're not sure, then just go for it, because you'll never know unless you try. And a lot of times we underestimate what we have the ability to do. So if you go for it, if you take the shot, then who knows, you might just get it.
And how about you, Anna? What would you say to the young women out there?
I would say apply, and definitely apply, because as you said, you never know until you try. And the worst possible outcome is that you don't get accepted.
Right.
And if you don't apply, then you never will get accepted. And there are so many great opportunities you can get from this award.
Great. So Leah, I'm going to ask you, what is the best career advice you have ever received?
That's a tough question, because I have been so lucky and fortunate to have many mentors and sponsors in my career, but they have all had one thing that they talked to me about that wasn't common, which was never underestimate the power of relationships. And those relationships are internal ones at your company, people that you're working with, either in your own team or outside your team. It's amazing how much easier it is to solve a problem or have a crucial, difficult conversation with someone when you know their kids' names or their dog's name or where they last went on a trip. But it's also external relationships. So how are you connecting with others outside of your organization to help give you a different perspective? Maybe it's how a different industry is tackling the same problem, or have a safe place to bounce an idea off of someone and get constructive feedback. So the relationships that you build starting now in high school and all the way through your career will serve you well in terms of helping you reach your goals, and they're critical.
Thank you. That is really good advice. Shivani, what is the best career advice you've ever received?
I will second with Leah that I've been extremely lucky in my career to have some of the best mentors who've constantly provided great input and great advice. I think one of the best pieces of advice I received was fake it till you make it, from one of my mentors that I've used ever since. And I want to say it really works, especially in situations where you're unsure, but just portraying that level of confidence and knowing that you can actually achieve. Because everybody is, if you're scared of doing something, the chances are everybody else is scared too. So you just need to take the leap, take hold of those opportunities, take the bull by the horns, and just go do it. And I think I've always felt at every step in my career that I've never been ready for the next job, and I've always been able to dominate it. And looking back, it looks so easy, and that's because you tried hard, and then you excel at it, and then it just becomes commonplace, and then you just fake the next job up, and it seems hard at first, but you just jump all in, and it's the same thing over and over again. So self-confidence, self-awareness, and just knowing that you can do it.
Yeah, those are both really great advice. I think networking, internal as well as external, and managing those relationships, as well as the fake it till you make it. I use that mantra personally all the time. So those are really great advice to give out to anybody out there that are thinking about pursuing this. And with that, I would like to thank you all for being here with me today, and I would like to thank Land O'Lakes for hosting us here today. Thank you.